Hello there, friend. It's Saeed Risalat, and I've got a story you won't want to miss. Picture this: a sunny day in Karachi, a family outing for barbecue, and a father's split-second decision that leads to a heart-pounding race against time. In this video, I'm sharing a deeply personal tale of love, loss, and redemption that will tug at your heartstrings. But this isn't just any story. It's a reminder of the importance of cherishing every moment with your loved ones and never taking their safety for granted. It's a lesson that hit me hard, and I know it'll resonate with you too. So grab a cuppa, settle in, and join me on this emotional roller coaster. Trust me, you won't regret it. Hit that play button now. Here's a very interesting fact about parenting. Did you know that the concept of helicopter parenting, where parents hover over their children and are overly involved in their lives, was first coined in the 1960s? It's a term that has become increasingly popular in describing a style of parenting that is often seen as excessive or intrusive. Hey, folks. Are you ready for a story that'll grip your heart and never let go? Well, buckle up, because I've got a tale that's gonna take you on a wild ride through the streets of Karachi, Pakistan. Imagine this: a scorching summer day in 2012, Karachi's bustling streets, and a family eagerly heading out for some barbecue delights. Sounds like a perfect day, right? But hold on tight, 'cause things are about to take a dramatic turn. In this video, I'm gonna share a story that's close to my heart, a story of a father's redemption and the lessons learned from a narrow escape. It's a story of love, loss, and the unbreakable bond between a father and his children. Join me as I recount the events of that fateful day when a simple family outing turned into a nightmare. You'll hear how a momentary lapse in judgment led to a heart-wrenching ordeal and a father's desperate search for his missing sons. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. This story is also a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of love and determination. So, grab your popcorn, settle in, and get ready for a story you won't soon forget. Trust me, this is one video you don't wanna miss. The story starts here. A father's redemption. Lessons from a narrow escape. Chapter 1. The anticipation of homecoming. As the plane descended towards Karachi, my heart swelled with anticipation. It had been months since I last set foot in my hometown, and the thought of reuniting with my family filled me with joy. The Pakistan Air Force had kept me busy, but nothing could compare to the warmth of home. "Are we there yet?" my youngest, Fatima, asked for the umpteenth time, her eyes shining with excitement. "Not yet, sweetheart," I replied, ruffling her hair. "Just a little longer." Semra, my wife, smiled at me from across the aisle, her eyes reflecting the same excitement as the children. It had been a while since we had all been together, and the annual leave was a precious time for us to reconnect. As the plane touched down and we made our way through the bustling airport, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the opportunity to be with my family once again. Karachi welcomed us with its familiar chaos and warmth, and I knew that the days ahead would be filled with love and laughter. "Where are we going first, Baba?" Fawad, my eldest, asked eagerly as we loaded our luggage into the car. "I was thinking we could head to Kant Station for some barbecue," I replied, knowing how much the children loved it. The drive to Kant Station was filled with chatter and excitement, the children eagerly pointing out familiar landmarks along the way. As we neared our destination, the aroma of sizzling meat filled the air, and I could see the anticipation building in their eyes. We parked the car and made our way towards the bustling streets of Kant. The sights and sounds were overwhelming, but the excitement in the air was palpable. This was our time to unwind and create cherished memories as a family. As we approached the barbecue spot, I made a decision that would change everything. Spotting a crowded area near a hotel, I thought it safe to leave Fawad and Shahab there while I went to buy the barbecue items. They waved me goodbye, their innocent faces filled with trust, as I headed towards the food stalls. Little did I know, this simple decision would lead to a chain of events that would forever change our lives. Chapter 2. A fateful decision. I hurried through the crowded streets, eager to get back to my boys with the barbecue goodies. The smells wafting from the food stalls made my mouth water, and I couldn't wait to dig in with my family. As I approached the store, I noticed a commotion near the hotel where I had left Fawad and Shahab. "What's going on here?" I asked a passerby, my heart beginning to race. "It looks like there's been a kidnapping," the man replied, pointing towards a group of people gathered near the hotel. My heart skipped a beat as I frantically searched for Fawad and Shahab. Panic surged through me as I realized they were nowhere to be seen. "Fawad! Shahab!" I called out, my voice rising in desperation. But there was no sign of them. I raced back to where I had left them, my mind racing with fear and guilt. How could I have been so careless? How could I have left them alone in such a crowded place? As I reached the spot, I was met with an empty space, devoid of my boys' cheerful faces. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone to call Semra, my voice trembling as I told her what had happened. "We need to find them," she said, her voice filled with fear. I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. We split up, searching every nook and cranny of Kant Station, asking anyone who would listen if they had seen two young boys. Hours passed, but there was no sign of them. The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the streets. I felt a sense of dread wash over me as the realization of my mistakes sank in. I had failed as a father, and now my boys were paying the price. As the night wore on, I continued to search, my mind consumed with thoughts of what might have happened to them. Were they safe? Were they scared? I couldn't bear the thought of them being in danger, and I vowed to do whatever it took to find them. Finally, as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, I saw them. Fawad and Shahab, huddled behind a cart, their faces stained with tears and dirt. Relief flooded through me as I ran towards them, gathering them in my arms. "We found them," I whispered to Semra, tears of relief streaming down my face. "We found them." Chapter 3. The nightmare unfolds as I held Fawad and Shahab close. My mind raced with questions. How had they ended up behind that cart? What had they been through? I didn't want to overwhelm them with questions, so I just held them tight, grateful to have them back in my arms. "We thought we lost you," I whispered, tears streaming down my face. "We got scared, Baba," Fawad said, his voice trembling. "But we remembered what you taught us. We ran as fast as we could and hid until we felt safe." I hugged him tighter, overwhelmed with pride and relief. My boys had shown incredible courage and resourcefulness in the face of danger, and I couldn't have been prouder. As we made our way back to the car, I couldn't shake the feeling of guilt that weighed heavily on my shoulders. I had put my boys in harm's way, and it was a mistake I would never forgive myself for. "I'm so sorry, boys," I said, tears streaming down my face. "I should never have left you alone. I promise it will never happen again." "We know, Baba," Shahab said, his voice filled with forgiveness. "We're just glad to be back with you." Back home, Semra and I sat down with the boys to talk about what had happened. They recounted their ordeal, describing how they had been approached by a group of men who had tried to take them away. They had managed to break free and had hidden until they felt it was safe to come out. "We were so scared, Mama," Fatima said, her eyes wide with fear. "I can't imagine how terrifying that must have been," Semra said, tears in her eyes. "But you were so brave, all of you." As we sat together, grateful to be reunited, I knew that this experience had changed me. I had always prided myself on being a good father, but I had let my guard down, and it had almost cost me everything. From that day on, I vowed to always be vigilant, to never take my children's safety for granted. I would cherish every moment with them, knowing that life was fragile and precious. As I tucked them into bed that night, I whispered a silent prayer of thanks for their safe return. I knew that our family would never be the same, but I was grateful for the second chance we had been given. Chapter 4: Redemption and Lessons Learned. The events of that day had left a profound impact on me. I had come face to face with my own vulnerability as a father, and I was determined to make things right. I spent the days following our ordeal reflecting on what had happened, trying to understand how I could have been so careless. "I'm sorry, boys," I said, sitting him down one evening. "I should never have left you alone. I promise to always protect you from now on." "We know, Baba," Fawad said, giving me a hug. "We're just glad you're okay." As the days turned into weeks, I made it a point to spend more time with my children, cherishing every moment we had together. We went on family outings, played games, and shared our hopes and dreams with each other. "I love you, Baba," Shahab said one evening as we sat on the porch, watching the sunset. "I'm glad you're my dad." "I love you too, Shahab," I replied, feeling a lump in my throat. "I'm so grateful to have you and your siblings in my life." The experience had also taught me the importance of being vigilant and responsible as a parent. I made sure to always keep an eye on my children, never letting them out of my sight in crowded places. "I'm proud of you, Baba," Semra said one evening, watching me play with the children in the backyard. "You've really stepped up since that day." "I had to," I replied, pulling her close. "I never want to experience anything like that again." As the years passed, the memory of that day faded, but the lessons I had learned remained with me. I was grateful for the second chance I had been given, and I vowed to never take my family for granted again. And so, as I look back on that fateful day in Karachi, I am filled with a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the safety of my children, for the love of my family, and for the lessons learned that have made me a better father. And that, my friends, is the story of a father's redemption and the invaluable lessons learned from a narrow escape. It's a story that reminds us all to cherish every moment with our loved ones and never take their safety for granted. I hope this tale has touched your heart as it has mine and serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of vigilance and responsibility as parents. Let's all strive to be the guardians our children need, keeping them safe and secure, no matter what. So, if you've been moved by this story, if you've been reminded of the preciousness of family, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more compelling stories and life lessons. Together, we can create a community of love, support, and understanding. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe and cherish those you hold dear. Moral of the story: always be vigilant and responsible, especially when it comes to the safety of your loved ones. Cherish every moment and never take anything for granted.